Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your October 2018 mid-month general readings. Thank you for joining us here today and welcome to any newcomers. I am back in California after 3 months in Europe, so thank you to those of you who continue to follow me there and for all your likes, shares, and subscribes. And thank you to all of my clients, too, both regular and new, for continuing to follow and keep me so busy with personal one-on-one readings. Yes, my California background looks a little different than it did before because I moved right before I left for Europe. So I'm still in process of putting up all my pictures and stuff, but we'll get it all sorted out. Okay, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me and you've never read with me before, you can get more info and contact details by going to my YouTube channel's homepage, clicking on that little About button, or you can click on the description bar of all the videos I post. Please feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you and set up a reading as quickly as possible. Turnaround time's usually pretty fast. Because I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week, it is what I do. And I do a wide variety of readings of all types in all areas of life in varying lengths. So if you're interested, send me an email. We'll go from there. You can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy, and that link is also provided. Okay, let's move right into this. This reading is for the water sign of Cancer. Our crabs are lovely Cancerians for the last half of October 2018. So we're looking at the remainder, the last couple of weeks of October. Let's see what's in store for our Cancerians. For additional clarification, if you know your rising and your moon sign, watch those videos as well because that can be helpful. General readings always resonate a little differently for everybody. Okay, Cancer, let's see what's in store for you. We begin with Temperance, followed by the Five of Cups. We have the Magician, followed by the Ten of Wands. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and guidance is the Six of Wands and the Chariot. I'm going to pull an additional advice card for you. I'm going to keep the Chariot as your advice card because that's what I'm feeling pretty strongly. Okay, Cancer. So Cancer, it looks like around the middle of the month, which is where we begin, time always being kind of fluid. It looks like you may be having some difficulty or find it challenging to kind of maintain a balance in the midst of some loss or grief of some kind. But the thing that I really love is your overall energy is victory and triumph after a struggle. So always the message being pushed through. Especially with the Chariot being your advice card, it's pushed through with action and staying focused on your goals. Some of you may have experienced a recent disappointment or setback or, loss or going through a grieving process over something in your life. Because we begin with Temperance and the Five of Cups. So Temperance is a card about maintaining balance. She is the perfect expression of holding opposite extremes in perfect unison and harmony. Temperance, in the culinary world, to temper something means to take things of two varying degrees, usually at the opposite end of temperature, and blend them together like something hot and something cold. You can't do that all at once because it doesn't work and it doesn't emulsify. You have to add them together slowly and patiently to create a harmonious mixture. There's a balance that has to be achieved there. The other analogy that I like to use for temperance is about keeping your balance, which means staying grounded, staying kind of focused. I know who I am, I know what I'm about, I know where I'm going, I know what I'm going for, I know what's right for me. It's like being in the middle of a seesaw or teeter-totter and being in the center, which is where you want to be because that's where you're grounded. When you're on the outside ends of the teeter-totter, you're kind of at the mercy of the elements, of other people's opinions, of the weather, of your own doubts and fears and insecurities about who you are and where you're going. And when those ends go up and down, if you're on the end, you often lose your balance and fall off. But when you're in the center, even though there may be a lot of turbulence around you or doubt or questions or other people's opinions, you're in the center, so you stay grounded and you tend not to fall off, even though you may get wobbly sometimes. So it's about maintaining a kind of balance and serenity if possible. for the last half of October. And for advice, this represents, kind of trying to stay in the middle of the road, trying not to be too impulsive and spontaneous, especially where your emotions are concerned. Now, what clarifies that is the Five of Cups, which is a card that can represent some grief, some loss, maybe some sadness. You can see that this man is sunk to his knees in the grass, and he's completely focused on these three tipped over, spilled out cups. And those cups represent something maybe that he's lost or that's been taken away from him, a grief, a loss, a disappointment of some kind. Whatever these cups represent is the source of the sadness. But this isn't the Three of Cups, it's the Five of Cups. Right behind him, you can see, excuse me, I'm still a little hoarse from the end of that cold. Forgive me for sounding a bit like a frog. You can see behind him are these two goblets, still upright, golden, full, beautiful. They represent things that are still in the situation or in the environment that are still there, that are beautiful, that there are still things there to be grateful for and to appreciate, or opportunities which may be coming along quite quickly or in the environment which you might miss because you're focused only on, the negativity of the situation. I mean, there's a certain understandable and healthy period for grief when you've lost something, whether it's a person or a thing or a job or something of that sort. But there comes a time when we have to kind of, tie a balloon string to it, wave to it, and stand up, brush ourselves, and look around and realize that life is still meant to be lived. There are other things there for us. So there's some kind of balance. There may be a struggle for some of you in kind of maintaining this balance and not allowing your emotions to get the better of you. Let's take a look at your elemental energy here. Two Wands and a Cups. So for some of you, I mean, might be in the relationship area of your life. For others of you, it might be in job, work, and career. And for some of you, it might be in the spiritual arena of your life too. I feel like for a lot of you, there may have been some disappointments or some setbacks or some loss or something, perhaps in something you were hoping to build or something maybe that you were working on achieving. And I feel like for some of you, it's not like the entire thing is lost. It's just that there's been maybe a setback or something you were expecting that didn't quite come together or hasn't come together yet, or something that you thought was going to happen but which didn't. Now next to that is at or towards the end of October 2018, we have the Magician and the Ten of Wands. It's a great energy because the Magician represents that regardless of what setbacks or disappointments you've suffered, the Magician represents that you have everything that you need within you, all the tools, the skill, the wisdom, the knowledge, the experience to build and create and manifest what it is that you want, because that's the energy of the Magician. He has worked long and hard to get to where he's at. He's gone through trial and error, failure and defeat, and triumph and success as well. And he's reached a point in his career now where he has mastery over everything, and he needs little, if any, help from anybody else. It's a very independent, entrepreneurial energy as well. I often look at the Magician as the entrepreneur of the tarot when it's in the upright positive aspect. That is. The Magician is about taking your knowledge, will, skills, and tools, combine them with your determination and perseverance and your will to manifest in an external way and create and build what it is that you want. And you have everything you need in order to do that. Now, what clarifies and accompanies the Magician is the Ten of Wands, which represents a burden coming to an end, a cycle coming to an end. Tens in the tarot typically represent cycles ending, and we're always kind of beginning and ending cycles in our life. But this represents one that is or has become over time a heavy burden. It could be an actual cross you've had to bear, a challenge that you've been putting a lot of work into, but tends to represent that you're at an end. It is coming to an end. You can see this man, even though his burden is so heavy he can't stand up under the weight of it, he's still carrying those. I mean, he's at his end. We're at the 10. His head is up and he's looking at his destination, that place where he can lay his burden down and stand up, take a deep breath, and be free from it once and for all. And that's kind of sitting next to the Five of Cups. Whatever the source of this loss or grief or disappointment is, and you have the ability to do that regardless if you suffer setbacks, disappointments. We all do, and even the most successful and famous of human beings suffered, some of them quite a bit, in their journey to build, create, and manifest whatever their dream, their goal, or their vision is. So you have the ability to put things together, to build the kind of life, to create what it is you want to create, especially moving down the road, and let go of this focus on what didn't happen, what hasn't happened, what you lost, and instead focus on the future, because victory and triumph after a struggle is your overall energy and guidance for the remainder of October. This was a hard-won victory, and it's a significant victory. It's not a minor victory. He went off to, struggle with something, slay a dragon, rescue a princess, get a promotion, get a new job, finish college, whatever it is for you, it's major victory and triumph after a significant struggle or challenge. And your advice is the Chariot, which the Chariot corresponds great to the Magician, because that's why the Magician has gotten to where he's at, by manifesting the energy of the Chariot. The Chariot is the most powerful, in my opinion, one of the most powerful success cards in its major arcana. Success cards of the tarot. It represents winning because you simply refuse to give up, no matter how many times you lose or fall down along the way. The Chariot is about taking your will, your determination, your perseverance, harnessing together everything that you need, choosing your goals, staying focused on your goals, starting, not losing momentum, not letting anything get in your way. That's how you achieve success. You go until you achieve what you want. And it's a very action-oriented, driven, ambitious card about staying focused on your goals, and it's action-oriented. You have the ability to do this regardless of whatever setbacks there has been. If it's a relationship that's ended, move forward into the future. Take the lessons that you've learned and apply those moving forward. Same with a project, job, work, or career. You have everything you need to build and create and manifest what you want. And there is victory and triumph here. And I feel like you're going to see it at or by the end of October, beginning of November. Remember not to stop. Remember to keep going. Remember to stay focused. There's a temptation to, maybe more towards the middle of the month, to kind of dwell on what didn't happen, what isn't coming together, or what has been lost, rather than what you still have, and moving forward, continuing to move forward. So Cancer, that pretty much wraps up your October 2018 mid-month general reading. I hope you found it helpful. Again, if any of you would like a more personal one-on-one reading, please feel free to email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you. You can get that info by clicking on the description bar of any of the videos I post, or you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage and click on that little About button. I do readings in all areas of life, love and romance, of course, compatibility charts, reconciliation spreads. I do career work and finance readings, investment readings as well, 6 and 12-month overviews, which a lot of people like because it gives a 6 or 12-month look ahead at what's coming in your life and all the main areas, depending on how far ahead you want to look. People order those all during the year, but they seem to be particularly popular in the last few months of the year as we're looking towards a new year. And I also do channeled messages from past unloved ones, as long as there was, an emotional connection there. And gift readings as well, which again, people order all through the year as readings, as gifts for other people, but they seem to be particularly popular in the last few months of the year during the holidays as gifts. So, and you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy. That link is also provided. That's good for fast answers to the quick, easy questions. So Cancer, that pretty much wraps it up. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the November 2018 general readings. And until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. And I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.